So, well, that's great. So I can now move on to our speaker today, who we've already seen and been introduced to, is John McGrath. He's going to tell us how, through the medium of sport, he has helped children in the poorest townships in South Africa to overcome poverty. So it should be interesting, and looking forward to hearing from you, John.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
Thank you. You can hear me clearly, yes?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you, guys. Firstly, guys, thank you very much for the possibility of speaking to you here today. It's a big pleasure. Secondly, I'm still recovering from some bronchitis, so if my voice isn't exactly clear and crisp at all times, it'll be the bronchitis, not my Irish accent. And so I live about 1 hour outside of Cape Town in a place called Par. It's yeah, just about an hour, and I'm involved primarily in sport. Has been my life. I've been very fortunate. I rode for Ireland, and I played. I did kickboxing and karate for Ireland. This is my gym in a wonderful estate called Val de Vie. It's again a couple of kilometers just outside Parle. So this is what I spend at least half of my life doing in this building here, with this really amazing swimming pools, all sorts of facilities. That's half of my life, and the other half of my life I spend in the township of Bekwene, which is about 20 kilometers from where I am. It's quite stark contrast. South Africa is a country of pretty stark contrasts, and that's pretty much as stark as it can get. I'm going to play a quick video, hopefully it will work, of some of the athletes that I've worked with here in South Africa, just to give you guys a little bit of context of, hopefully, of what I would do here from that perspective. It doesn't have the sound. Does it have any sound? Okay, if it doesn't have sound, that's okay, guys. I'll just go. Remember that long jumper? I'm going to talk about him later on. This is an Olympic gold medal winner, Ryk Nettling. Okay, Linky, I'll leave that video without the sound. I'm just going to leave it, okay? But this just gives a little idea. That long jumper, guys, his name is Luvo Manyanga, that first one you saw. And in 2013, I'd heard about this kid, and he had become banned for taking crystal meth. He would become banned. He wasn't jumping, and he was a crystal meth addict. And I went to fetch him in the township, and I eventually got my hands on him, and I started working with him. And within the space of a year and a half, he'd become an Olympic silver medalist in Rio. And in 2017, I believe it was in London, in 2017, he became a world long jump champion. And that really got me going into the untapped resources of the townships and the genius and the brilliance that remains in there. So that's got me going with that. I've got a small video from that township. We'll see if it plays. It's only about 1.5 minutes. If it doesn't have any volume, at least it will give you a picture of the foundation itself and the kind of work that we do there. So we'll try and play that if it works. Please, Linky. Even without sound, guys, this is what the township looks like. Informal settlements. You can imagine when it rains, when it gets to 44 degrees in the summer, in those shacks, and during the winter time, there's no protection, very little to no protection from the rains, from the winter rains, which are quite savage. Less than half the kids go to get to high school here, unemployment has got to be somewhere between 70 to 80%. That's the percentage of unemployment. And this is what we do. We uplift the kids through the vehicle of sport. All kids are welcome, but we really focus on ones that have the potential from an athletic possibility, but every kid is welcome. And they get to, when you live in poverty, there's very few words of encouragement, or there's very few people just to give you praise, or very few people who will give you encouragement to go on and do something with your life. So this is what we do. We run classes like this. Obviously, we're not doing that right now, but we are still going right now. We still help the kids, the young people, on an ongoing basis. They do the training on their own, but yeah, so you can see it's a place. The Emerald is the name of the foundation. That's the stadium. That's what it looked like. It's being done up an awful lot since we started. And we have many people who encourage us as well. If we could move on. These photographs were taken as well in the, this was in the very beginning stages of the opening up. The guy in the top right there, that's Sia Khaleesi. He's the Springbok captain. That's him there with Skara Tabani, who also is a Springbok. He's a fan of ours. That's a group photograph taking at the very beginning stages. He came in and he did a speech for all the young people who came to say basically that he didn't even have what they have right now. He didn't have that, and encouraged them to go on and to do better things and to even do more than he did. That's it, I guess, in a nutshell of what he encouraged them to do. And that's what we're about, encouraging. We believe that everybody has got some sort of a gift, and our job is to help them bring that out in themselves. And the other thing is to do it within the township itself. That's a very important thing. A lot of schools and a lot of sporting organizations sort of raid the township. So they come in and they pick out the best people in the township and they like export them out, which is good for them, I guess, but it's not great for the township. We believe that the good people must also stay within the township, because this is what makes a difference. If your best people leave the township, you're left with a leadership vacuum. And this is one of the things that we've been strong on. All of the young people here are living in the township now, and they're leading in the township now. And despite the incredibly difficult circumstances that the township is undergoing, they're all playing a role in the township that's keeping the youth active and vibrant, the kids training on their own. They get a workout every day to do, and they train on their own. But that township is in peace, and it's in quiet, and it's in calm. And that's a massive bonus, particularly at this time in this country. So yes, guys, this is the kind of community that we pull together, and a sense of real togetherness. There's very few places where you can get black people, white people, colored people. We have all of those. Predominantly, of course, it is black, but it's a very open place. We do have people from all aspects and all walks of life who come out here to this gym to train. And it's a very open and welcoming atmosphere. And hopefully someday we'll get a chance to welcome some of you guys there. This is just some more photographs. This is what it looks like. Sometimes we've got, when it's going really well, we've got maybe 70 or 80, sometimes almost 100 people in a class. You can see what it's like. Obviously, it's not like that right now, but that's how popular it is. We work with the schools as well. The two major schools are Eklamelo and Desmond Tutu High School. So we go in the daytime and we support the schools. So our coaches go in, and we will help with like life orientation or skills, athletic skills like old school PE, work like that and help any conditioning or preparation for athletes, be it netball, from whatever netball to football, soccer, or rugby. We help with all that preparation. And in the afternoon and evening time, then they come to the Emerald Foundation. As well as that, they get the opportunity to come in the morning time as well. Long term, I'd really love it to be a place where the long-term vision would be, it's a place where you could come and not only could you get training, which is what it is now, but the vision would be that someday you could come there and there would be somebody there to help you with your homework. You would get some sort of a meal as well before you would leave. So you would leave that place having physically accomplished something great for yourself for the day. You would have finished your homework and gone home with that and being content with that. And you would feel that you're always making some progress towards your dreams and goals. And that would be a more holistic way of helping people. Right now, it's just purely the physical and as much as what we can on the side, but it would be great to have other people there as well to help the students come through and the learners to come through in, with all other support systems. The more support systems you have, the better, because that's the lack of support systems is what prevents the younger people from coming through. Talent is incredible here, guys. The talent is phenomenal, absolutely outrageous. But unless you have support systems, we're not going to get it through either way we would like to, and in a way that could really, really profoundly change this community. So, yeah, I think that's about the nuts and bolts of it, guys. I'd be grateful for any questions, etc. as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. That's amazing. I've got a couple of questions before I open it up to everyone. Sure. The first is funding. How do you fund all of this? Is it purely charitable donations or?
Yeah, it's purely charitable donations. What I did first is I just put some of my own money. I just took some of my own money out of my pocket and started with that, because sometimes if you're to wait for everything to happen, it never happens. So it's purely donations. But right now in that gym, we have all the equipment is paid for after 1 year, which has been great. So that's, yeah, it works on that basis, purely in that sense. Yeah.
And the other question I had was whether you've just got one centre or more. Are you hoping to open up other centres throughout?
Yes, we are. Yeah, the need is huge, and the model can be replicated. We're talking to a school in the Cape Flats, which is nearby. The Cape Flats is what is it? It's probably the murder capital of the world. That's what it is. And we have a school there that we're working with, and they're very keen. They've got more than 1,000 kids in the school, and they're a very progressive school. And they have given us the old woodwork rooms, which will be perfect size for a gym there. So they're prepared to give us the rooms and give us the space, and that we can go in there as well. And it provides us with a good bit of security as well, Chris, because, you know, the gym is looked after then because it's part of the schools, it's on the school grounds, etc. So we're very keen to open up that project and maybe another one or two as well. Yeah, I mean, we've got to grow, we've got to get going. Yeah.
If you could close your screen sharing, and then I can see everybody else. Is that possible, John?
Say that again.
Can you close it? That's it. Yeah, that's it. So anybody else got any questions? John Aldridge, that is. Yeah.
Can you tell us, John, where the capital expenditure came from for those beautiful buildings we saw? Who provided that capital?
That's for the gym itself, is it? Is that the one for the gym building?
Yeah.
Yeah, the gym building is a municipality building that we get for free. We get that building for free, but we have to maintain it. Outside of that, then the field, which is directly outside of the gym, is being repaired and resodded by Sia Khaleesi, the Springbok captain. He's personally responsible for resodding and securing that field. So that's who secured the build. The building is belong to the municipality, and the field is being headed up by Sia Khaleesi himself.
And are all the coaches volunteers, John?
No, they're not. We have 2 full-time coaches with us, and we have many part-time, because there's a lot to be said for. I believe if you pull people in and you're helping them as you teach, each one teach one. As you teach somebody else as well, you learn it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people keen for that, and I think it's a great way to run it as well. But you've got to have the 1 or 2 people who are there, responsible, and they have to be there morning and evening time. And yeah, so that's how it works. It would be as well the same in the new one. It would be 2 to 3 people as well working in the school. I'd also think that would be the model that we could work on. The other thing that we do is on top of that. So we, as well as what we do with the school kids, in the evening time, we open it up for the community then, which are the younger, what we call young people. They can be of any age. Young people in South Africa termed, I think anybody up to the age of 28. We open it up then in the evening time for virtually any age person to come along, and they pay a small fee per monthly as well, which is a nice model, a nice twist to it. That's going to have some ability to fund. And we do the same thing with the school, because we believe once the community starts come to the gym, that's the community who live around the school, that they'll have a sense of ownership both of the gym and of the school as well. It would be in their best interest to protect it. So that's our philosophy with that as well.
Thank you.
Do you have any other questions
Thank you.
from anybody? I can see everybody. I will shout up. No?
John Saunders, I think.
Sorry, John.
I think he's muted.
John?
John,
You're muted.
John, are you working with Rotary at all, either locally or internationally?
I'm not, but I'm in my gym. I am familiar with the many guys who are in the local Rotary club here. They're also in my members in my gym here in Val de Vie. A guy called Maurice. He's the chairman of it. So I'm familiar with the Rotary here, the local Rotary.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, John. Yeah, it's interesting, and it just shows what can be done, both locally and something that perhaps can be spread a little bit further, more afield, not just in South Africa, but in other areas where there is that sort of deprivation, I would have thought. It sounds
Yes.
a great thing to do. So thank you very much for that, and we wish you well with what you're doing and also expanding it. And if you can start to work with local Rotary, then that would be that thing as well. And we would certainly be able to keep in touch with Rotary as well in terms of anything that you may wish to do moving
Okay.
forward.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Chris. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. So,
Thanks, John.
once again, everybody, it's a great attendance today. Next week is supposed to be, I think, a business meeting. But I don't know how much business have we got, Barry, for next week. Is there a lot of business to do?
Well, a range of things, including receiving the accounts and approving them.
Yeah. Are we all right with that, David, to get the accounts ready for next week?
That's fine. I hope to be able to send a copy to